Now, there's a yellow weather warning remaining in place for parts of the UK today, hindering the clean-up operation, of course, following Storm Eunice.
Yeah, we now know that 4 people died as winds reached about 120 miles an hour and more than 1 million homes have been left without power.
Flying debris caused major disruption to rail and road networks and significant damage to homes and buildings, including ripping the roof off part of the O2 Arena in London.
Well, let's talk to our East of England reporter, Amelia Harper, who's in Buckinghamshire this morning. I mean, what was happening in Buckinghamshire yesterday, Amelia?
Well, it was incredibly busy because, as we know, we started off with that red warning. That was upgraded by the Met Office at about 4 a.m, moving from the southwest across to the east, hitting the east at around 10 o'clock. And actually, here in Buckinghamshire, the ambulance service, South Central Ambulance Service, actually declared a critical incident in response to the storm. They said they were inundated with 999 calls, as well as pressures compounded by the existing storm. If we look elsewhere in the east of England, in Suffolk, the county council early in the day declared a major incident there. Their teams, multidisciplinary teams, were assessing the situation every couple of hours. As well, if we look at elsewhere in the south, in London, the London Fire Brigade declared a major incident there as well. The exposed coastal areas, I was in Southend-on-Sea yesterday. They recorded wind speeds of 90 miles an hour. A little further inland in places like Hertfordshire, they were about 80 miles an hour. Hertfordshire County Council took 175 calls alone for trees. Their fire service took another 100 calls. Elsewhere in Essex, their fire service took 300 calls. But look, today, the dust has settled, as it were. That clean-up operation now commences. But there are questions from the Met Office because there are new, less severe yellow weather warnings for ice around Scotland and the north of England, and then also in the south, the very south coast of England as well. There is still significant disruption to travel. I've had a look at Network Rail, their website this morning. Out of every single operator in the UK, there are only 2 that are operating with good service.
It looks rather sunny, at least where you are at the moment. So, as you say, maybe things are cheering up, though. They are saying it's still a yellow weather warning, and it's probably not the day to go out, or at least not to go up high and make any repairs. Thanks very much, Amelia. Bradley Harris is also live with us to take us through the latest in Wales. Hello there, Bradley. Actually, it looks as though it's getting more windy.
You're absolutely right. The wind is seriously picking up. We've now reached 40 miles an hour here, 25 miles west of the capital of Wales in Porthcawl. That's where I'm standing now, right on the edge of the seafront. You can see the waves have really started to get a lot bigger now compared to when I was speaking to you both just a few hours ago. Much bigger, much more aggressive, hitting those sea defences and tipping over the edge onto the road here. That's with winds of 40 miles an hour. Double that, and that's what it would have been like yesterday when Storm Eunice came charging in, battering this town with up to 90 mile an hour gusts of wind. That was when it had the severe rare red weather warning from the Met Office, which means a risk to life. That ended at 12 o'clock yesterday afternoon. It then went to an amber weather warning that ended at 9 o'clock last night for the whole of Wales. It's now a yellow warning for wind, and you can certainly feel it now in Porthcawl. People are allowed to go out now. It was only essential travel yesterday, 40 mile an hour on the M4. That's because 2 lorries had turned over. Most of the schools in Wales have been closed for the first time ever. All trains were cancelled across Wales. The 2 bridges, that's the M48 Severn Bridge and the M4 Prince of Wales Bridge, were both shut. The first time that's happened since the second bridge was opened in 1996. Now, though, the Prince of Wales Bridge is back open again. Inspectors are taking a look at the M48 Severn Bridge as we speak, working out whether it's safe to actually open that back up. I can't see whether it should be opened yet, considering how windy it is here. Of course, we are on the seafront. Just take a look at those waves now, crashing in, hitting those sea defences. Incredible scenes at the moment here in Porthcawl. Many people's roofs, not here, but up in Newport, we've seen pictures already of people's roofs being torn off completely. Over in Bridgend, huge, massive trees, 100 years old, tipped over onto roads, blocking paths. So a rescue effort is underway. The worst of the storm is far from over. People have got sandbags still in front of their houses, just in case some of the waves, like this one, has just hit us now. That could happen again later today, and they could get worse than this. But of course, the worst part of it was yesterday. We're now seeing 40-mile-an-hour winds, but as you can see, it's still pretty rough here, and it will be a rough few couple of days as we come out of this storm.